Hi there and welcome to Chair Yoga. This class will help you increasing the mobility in your joints while sitting in a chair. You can be sitting in a wheelchair or you can be sitting on a normal chair. I will be using a chair with a back. If you're sitting in a wheelchair and you can fold down the sides, the handles of your wheelchair, please do so. If you can't, it's not a problem. Some wheelchair can also fold down the back, but since I will be using a chair with a back, you don't need to do that on your wheelchair either. A dog is also optional. You will be needing a rope, a skipping rope, or a belt, or a yoga belt, or any other belt that you have handy. It's also good if you have an extra chair available, or a stool or anything else, something else. If you, on your wheelchair, can fold up the leg rest so that you can keep your legs straight out, that's perfect. I will now go through a series of movements. You don't have to do them all in one go. You can take a rest. In fact, I would suggest that you look through this video first and then do it all later. Good. We're going to start with just warming up the back and the neck. So we can put the rope aside for now. So you sit as straight up as you can. You can place your hands on your hip. And we're going to inhale, and you can inhale and exhale through your nose if you can, or through your mouth if you're not comfortable with breathing through your nose. So we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we round the back. You round the back, starting almost with your pelvis, and then round the upper back, tuck your chin in, and as you inhale, you tilt your pelvis forward, you straighten your back, you lift your chest and you lift your chin. Pull your shoulders back. Exhale and you roll the spine up again. And again we inhale and lift. Shoulders back, lift your chest, lift your chin, and exhale, roll all the way up again. Couple of more times, exhale. And one last breath in, inhale. And when you exhale, you just come to a central neutral position with your back and your neck. We're going to continue with working on our shoulders, so we'll take the skipping rope. We're going to make the rope as long as you need for this exercise. Some of us will need a very short rope and some of us will need a very long rope. What we're going to do, we're going to hold the rope as long as you need. Stay with your arms and your legs straight. Take your arms behind you as much as you can and all the way forward again without bending your arms. So up and back and up and forward. And as you feel that this is getting easier and easier, you just shorten the grip on the belt. So you might want to make it tighter. It might not happen today, it might happen next week. But if you do these regularly, it will help increasing the mobility in your shoulder joints. And don't worry if you can't get all the way back, just do as much as you can. Just use the shoulders and use the range of movement that you have already. Don't be disheartened. And you can do this as many times as you want. I would suggest 15 to 25 a day. Not if you feel any pain in your shoulders, just ease off. And we'll do a couple more together before we move on to the next movement. You can do them at any speed as well. It doesn't have to be fast, it doesn't have to be slow. And we can slow down there. Next we're going to stretch out the shoulder, and you can sit comfortably on your chair. We're going to stretch out sideways to stretch out the side of the body. If you have your arm rest left on your wheelchair, you can rest your arm or your elbow on the wheelchair armrest. Otherwise, place your hand on maybe the seat of the chair, or just have a hand in your lap. But we inhale, we straighten our back as much as we can, and we stretch one arm up and over. So we lift up, feel that you're stretching the side of your body all the way from your hip, and then stretch over and across. And if you can, turn your head up and look up. And hold, and inhale, and exhale 1. And exhale 2. And exhale 3. Exhale 4. And exhale 5. Inhale and come all the way up, and we're going to do the other side. So placing your hand on the armrest or on your hand on your chair. Inhale and stretch the other side up. Stretch the arm, lift away from the hip and stretch over. And if you can, turn your head and look up. And if that's too uncomfortable for your neck, just look forward. And we inhale and we exhale 1. Inhale and exhale 2. Exhale 3. Exhale 4. And exhale 5. Inhale and come all the way up and sit straight up at the center. We're going to work the front of the body. We're going to work into a back bend. And we're going to start by sitting straight on the chair. We can put our sleeping robe or our belt away for now. If you have a back of the chair, please scoot a bit away from the back so you can place your hands on the seat. If you can't sit further away from the back of the chair, just try and sit as close to it as possible so you can sit up straight. We're going to move into back bend with the top part of our chest, so don't worry too much about the lower back. If you sit very close to the back of the chair, you can place your hands perhaps on the side somewhere, or perhaps in your hip, in the fold of your hip. If you're sitting away from the chair, place your hands on the lower part of the back, slightly further up, with your fingers pointing down. And regardless how close to the back you sit, straighten your back, pull your shoulders back, pull your elbows back as well. And we inhale, we're lifting your chest up, stretch the front of your body. Inhale, keep lifting your heart up, 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 up. Lift your chin up a little bit as well. Pull your shoulder and your elbows together. And inhale, get a feeling of trying to lift over a high jump bar. Inhale, just widen the top of the ribs. And inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, release your arms down. Maybe roll your shoulders. You're going to work in a seated rotation. And this is also one you can do with or without the back of a chair. The same thing as with last position. If you can, scooch a bit away from the back of the chair. If you can't, that's perfectly fine. If you can, cross one leg over the other. I've crossed my right leg over my left. If you can't cross your legs, that's perfectly fine. Stay with both legs on the floor. If you have crossed your legs, spinning around legs here. The same leg that you crossed over, my right one, I'm placing my right hand behind me on the chair, like an extra spine. And if you can't reach to put your hand on the back of the chair, put your hand maybe on your waist. My free hand, my left hand, I'm placing it at the top of my knee. And inhale and straighten your back. And exhale, turn towards the leg. And hold here. And keep looking over your shoulder. Inhale. And exhale, 1. Inhale. And exhale, 2. Inhale. And exhale, 3. Inhale. And exhale, 4. Inhale. And exhale, 5. Come back to the middle. And put both feet on the floor. And we're going to swap side. So I'm going to put my left leg on top of my right. And I'm going to put my left hand behind me. My right hand on top of my knee. Inhale and straighten. And exhale and rotate. Keep a straight spine at all times. And inhale and come all the way back to the front. And place both feet on the floor. We're now going to move to work on our hips and our legs before we do a forward fold. If you can, start to lift one knee up towards you. And then the knee out to the side and then down, so that you draw a circle with your knee around and around. Just a couple of times just to soften up the hip. And if this is too much for you, place your hands under your knee and help your knee around. Or you can also use your belt or my skipping rope. You can place the skipping rope under your knee to help you move your knee. And we're moving sides as well. So move your skipping rope or move your hands. And circles out to the side and around. So if you're not using, if you're helping out with the skipping rope to move your leg, you don't really work in a muscular way, you don't use your muscles. You're working with the mobility in the hip joint regardless. And we can stop there. The following movement can be, or the following position can be a little bit difficult. So this is just an optional position. Take your right leg and see if you can place your right leg, or your right foot rather, on top of the left knee. If this is too hard for you, just leave it out for now. It might be that your knee points straight up, so you're a little bit tight in the hip. You shouldn't feel any pain in the knee whatsoever. It's all coming from the hip. You flex your foot so that your toes are towards your knee, and you sit up straight. If you feel that this is a position where you can really feel it in your hip, try and sit here for maybe a minute, or perhaps 5 breaths on each side. So we'll come down, and you place your left foot on your right shin, right knee rather, and you'll sit here as well, and straighten your legs. And the same thing, the same amount of time on this leg as on the previous, so we're working the same. And then you place your feet down. We're going to finish with a forward bend, and this is why I have my other chair here. If you can, fold the footrest on your wheelchair up, set it straight. You can do so. Otherwise, please place your feet on the chair in front of you. And the chair in front of you can be any height, but I recommend that you take one that is the same height as the one you're sitting at. We're also going to use our skipping rope or a belt. A dog is optional. And we're placing it around your feet. Now we're going to bend forward, which is a great stretch for the back of the body. But we're actually going to use our rope to pull us forward. So we're holding onto the belt and we're stretching our back, and when we exhale, just bend your elbows and let the rope pull you nearer. And you might not come very far, but you can still feel the stretch at the back of your legs, and perhaps in your back as well. Keep looking down, keep lengthening the neck, and inhale and exhale here. We inhale and we come all the way up, and we exhale, let go of the rope, and you can always place your feet back down on the floor. Other little movements that can be very good for your for the mobility in your joints and for your circulation is little movements in your hands and your wrists. So we can clasp our hands together, and you can just do little circles on either direction, or in either direction. You can also roll your shoulders backwards and forwards. And I suggest you start the workout with these little movements. To work on your legs, in addition to putting your feet up, you can put your feet up, maybe hold on to your leg, I'm showing that instead, and circle your foot in either direction, or rather both directions. And then point and flex your foot a few times. It's very good for your feet, especially if you're seated during a long period of time. But that's all for now, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Please remember that the most important thing is to do it at all. Not to do perhaps loads irregularly, but it's better to do a little bit and regularly. Enjoy. Thank you.